Am I recording? I guess I am. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. So I don't know if you're like me and when you subscribe to a YouTube channel or you watch a YouTube video, I never read the description or the comments. I just watch the video. So I don't know if you caught Reuben Garcia's comment about reducing a fraction. So this video is how to get a randomly generated fraction that's reduced. Let's take a look at that. So let me show you what it looks like here. So I made this page earlier just to make sure it worked. Now I normally wouldn't have this button in, but this is just so I can regenerate quickly. And you'll notice there are no fractions that need to be reduced because they already are, and I took care of the ones that have a denominator of 1. I don't know. I'm just in the mood to laugh today. I guess that's a great thing. It's really not that funny. You know what it is? It's funny. I'm going to laugh. Let's see how to make this. So I'm going to open up a new one. And I'm just going to have a note component. Oh, and I'll put a button so we can play with that then. But you would delete that. I'll show you how to delete it at the end if you don't remember. So I'm going to name this button 2. And I'm going to do all the stuff right here in this note component. So I need a random number generator. So R equals random generator. Now if you leave it like this, this is what it would look like if you don't want the button. But I do want the button. So button 2 and the press count. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is have the computer randomly pick a random numerator and a random denominator. I feel like I said one of those words wrong, but I'm hoping you know what I meant. So my numerator will be a random integer from 1 to 9. We'll work on negatives later. My denominator will be a random integer from 1 to 9. 1 to 9. Okay. And then I'm going to put the sign of the fraction will be equal to a random integer from 1 to 2, because there's only 2 options. Either it's positive or negative. So positive will be 1, negative will be a 2. And I think I work on that later, but I put it up here anyway. My glasses are crooked. These are from Dollar Tree. They're $1. They're amazing. That's where you get your readers. Dollar Tree. All right. So if I find the GCF of my numerator and denominator and then divide each of those by that, I'll have a reduced fraction. So the way we get the GCF, we're going to have parentheses here. And then in those, we'll have quotation marks. So I open and close them right away so I don't forget. I'm one of those people. And now we need the negative slope slash thing, not the one next to the, or with the question mark. It's the one below the backspace, the delete button, that one. All right, and it knows GCF. So Reuben Garcia had put in the comments about it does like all those functions. Reuben, help me out again. You should just be making these YouTube videos. Okay, so how do I do this? I'm going to end the parentheses right away. So the GCF of, and now I do that weird notations. Oh, that wasn't the right, that's the other thing. Sorry, we'll get to that later. The weird notation for my variables. So I want the GCF of numerator and denominator. There we go. So now it has the GCF. And now what I want to do is divide the numerator and denominator by that, so I'm going to rename those. So I'm going to call this numerator 1 is equal to the numeric value, let's put some quotation marks in here, of my original numerator divided by the GCF. Okay, we're going to do the same thing for the denominator. Actually, I'm just going to copy all of this, copy, paste. I'm going to call this denom 1. And then in here, there we go. Okay? So now those are reduced things. So what I want to display, 4 things can happen. One is where, okay, well, 2 things can happen, right? One is where I can just have the reduced fraction. The other thing is where it ends up being an integer. So those are those 2 things. And then on top of that, each of those could either be positive or negative. So that's how I end up with the 4 different things. So this will be equal to I'll have a when, and an otherwise. So my first when is, I'm going to go with when they're integers. All right, we're going to take the numeric value. When the numeric value of denominator 1, so weird notation, I don't know if that needs to be, yeah, I guess so. When that equals 1, and when the sign of the fraction, when I want it to be positive, so sign fraction equals 1, then in that case, all we're going to do is display the reduced numerator. So numerator 1. Okay. The next one is similar, so I'm just going to copy and paste. The only thing is that if this is 2, if the sign of the fraction is 2, well then I want a little negative sign to show up in front of it. Okay, so this is when everything, when the denominator is 1 after we reduce. Okay, the third option now, third and fourth, is when it truly is a fraction, but one positive, one negative. So when it's not this, okay, so when denominator 1 does not equal 1, so it can equal anything but 1, and the sign of the fraction equals 1, it's a positive fraction. So what I want to show up is, okay, quotation marks, let's close those right away. The negative slope slash, I want it to look like a fraction. Okay, so this is where it will put it on top of each other instead of like offset with the little slashy thing in it. Weird notation for the numerator, numerator 1, and then the weird notation for the denominator, because then it will be reduced. Okay. Otherwise, now we don't have to write all of that in. I'm just going to grab this and copy it, this part in quotation marks, put it here. The only difference now is that there will be a negative sign. Okay. So that's what my display variable equals. Now I actually need it to display on my screen, so that's content, the content sink. So I want display to show up, but I also want it to be in that math font, so that's where we use these. I actually don't know if both types of quotation marks are necessary. They may not be. We'll try it without then, see if they're necessary. These are next to the 1 button. It's to the left of the 1 on your keyboard. All right, let's see what we have here, make sure I didn't mess up. Okay, so 1, negative 2/5, 1/3, 7, 7/4. Okay, looks good. I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to show you what it looks like if I don't have this. Interesting. Okay, so if I put those back, but I get rid of the regular quotation marks. Okay, I need them. I'm getting an error message. So we'll just keep that. There you go. Reduced fractions. So there you go. I hope this helps. You can insert this into some of the other things that we've been doing where you need a random number. If you don't want to recreate this, oh, I got to show you how to get rid of the button if you don't want it. So if you go in here to get rid of the button, you just delete everything in these parentheses. Delete. And now, well, I would delete the button too. Let's get rid of that component. So 8/5. 5. So you can see you have to open it up new each time to get a random number. So you can insert that into like a slope intercept thing, or if you're doing something with fractions, I don't know, but there you go. And if you don't want to type it all out, I will share a link to this activity. You can just grab the slide, or you could grab the code, or whatever you want there. All right, everybody, I hope this was helpful. We'll see you next time.